I'm Jen Stacy, and welcome to Living the Florida Life, the lifestyle show that showcases everything there is to love about this slice of paradise. This week, we visit two waterfront dining destinations that are leaving an indelible imprint on our local food scene. Their dishes are as unique as the people who are behind them. One of them owns and operates one of the Caribbean's most exotic hotels, and the other is a celebrated French chef. Their combined talents result in dining experiences that bring delicious and international flair right here to Florida. We'll travel to the beaches of a nearly deserted tropical island that's right off of our coast, and also cruise by some of the most exclusive waterfront homes in our region. Get ready to climb aboard a Naples tradition that offers an incredible adventure for the entire family. Pro golfer and master PGA instructor Bobby Clampett is back. He's joining us in his segment called Clampett's Corner. On this show, we go inside and we look at the importance of club fitting and also making the right contact with your driver. And we head into the kitchen and cook up a fantastic dish that you can cook at home with the district chef of Deep Lagoon Seafood. It's one of the best seafood restaurants right here in South Florida. But first, his photography is stunning. His process to capture those images is incredibly unique, and the story behind his work is both inspiring and moving. With an incredible array of awards, he has garnered a worldwide following for some of these photos that show nature frozen in time. From behind the lens, we sit down with renowned nature photographer Clyde Butcher as we go traveling with Tony.
People ask me how I do it. It's a feely thing. There's no rules or composition. It's if it feels good, you take a photograph.
Clyde Butcher, a world-renowned fine art photographer who specializes in black and white, large, grand landscape images. His work is so breathtaking, he's been called Florida's Ansel Adams.
People see my work and see the black and white and the composition and the printing, and it reflects the quality, I think, that Ansel Adams did. It's different, but it's really, I mean, why wouldn't anybody want to be considered compared to Ansel Adams? I graduated in architecture, and I worked in the field for 5 years after I got out of school. Well, I was actually always interested in photography. My first camera, I was 8 years old. Folks took me to the Grand Canyon and some of the national parks, which I think was a really good introduction to the parks and photography.
Butcher and his wife Nikki moved from California to Florida with their children in the late 1970s after selling a very successful photography business. But at first, he was disappointed.
I mean, I was a fan of Flipper, Sea Hunt. So that's what I thought Florida was all about. I was kind of disappointed when I came down here and discovered that most of Florida's pine trees were all the palm trees.
Tragically, the Butcher's 17-year-old son was hit and killed by a drunk driver in 1996. Butcher said he lost the color from his life, destroyed all of his color work, and then focused only on black and white photography using large format cameras. He found solace and healed his soul in the wilderness of the Big Cypress National Preserve.
Getting into it, again, gave me that feeling of intimacy, of primevalness. I mean, it's primeval. What this did, it was a way of me doing something positive. When you do things that are right and help people, it makes you feel better.
Butcher, with his wife Nikki at his side, spent countless hours wading through the Everglades. They would haul 60 pounds of camera gear to capture breathtaking images and expansive horizons, taking viewers to parts of Florida most have never experienced. I want to introduce you to the other 50% of this team. This is
or maybe 75%.
She has been on every adventure. And I mean, what a life these two have had. And they have a great family.
Yeah, we're very lucky to have our daughter working with us in our business as well as our son-in-law. So
yeah,
you know,
June 15th will be 55 years.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
Well, no, 57 if you include
dating.
Clyde Butcher's work is now featured in several galleries, including in Venice, Sarasota, and in the Big Cypress National Preserve. It's there where visitors are invited to go on guided swamp tours to see Florida's natural beauty firsthand.
I think it was the first year we were open. We had a swamp walk for 12 people. And I think 4 years later, in 3 days, we had 1,200. People would come out and say, this is better than Disney World.
Butcher has been awarded with a long list of international, national, and state awards for his artistic, humanitarian, and conservation achievements. He's most proud of receiving the Ansel Adams Award from the Sierra Club and the Florida Artist Hall of Fame Award.
Right next to Jimmy Buffett. And we got Ray Charles. I was there first before Jimmy.
Despite a recent stroke, Butcher is still fulfilling his passion and has much more to see and share with the world.
I'm learning more and more about Florida. And Florida is probably the most mysterious place in the United States. There's just so many places I haven't been to yet here in Florida.
Diners looking for delicious and creative cuisine are now flocking to Cape Coral. Part of the reason? 2 incredible waterside restaurants. How a decorated chef and an owner of an exclusive Caribbean resort are combining their talents to change our local dining landscape. Next.
This used to be a yacht club in the area. It's an open-air restaurant, as you can see. Edison Ford is right next to us. 250,000 people that go to Edison Ford who have the opportunity to come over here and have lunch. The weather's perfect for being an outdoor restaurant. And so God's greatest dining room is Southwest Florida, and come visit. From the boat to the table, you can't fake fresh.
Here's a question for you. What do you get when you combine the experience of a family who owns one of the Caribbean's most exclusive resorts with 2 celebrated French chefs? 2 unique waterfront destinations that are changing the dining landscape of Southwest Florida. Let's head to Cape Coral and dive into their creative cuisine.
Fun atmosphere, family-oriented, good service, personalized service, great ambiance, an eclectic menu that ranges from anything from a pizza to octopus. So it's a nice place to go.
The Hoffmans certainly know a thing or two about satisfying discerning tastes. They've lived in some of the most exotic places in the world, operating exquisite restaurants and exclusive hotels. After managing a hotel in the Abacos, the Hoffman family bought the Montpelier Plantation Inn on the jewel-like Caribbean island of Nevis in 2002. The exclusive boutique hotel is known for its incredible service and gourmet creative cuisine, thanks in part to French chef Ben Voisin and his Argentinian wife, Val.
Nevis is an amazing place to be, which we will never, ever thought we will end up working there. Montpelier is just a magical hotel, and being there, it was a great experience. We, kept close with Tim and Meredith, and that's how everything started.
The Hoffmans made the difficult decision to leave their island paradise in search of a better education for their kids. They landed in Cape Coral.
So everything sort of slowly got pinpointed down, in this area, especially in Cape Coral, and we loved it. We loved the people. We loved just the feel of the town, and yeah, it was just the right fit for us.
They soon bought a waterfront restaurant once known as The Joint in Cape Harbor and renamed it Fathoms. It was a big undertaking, so they enlisted the help of their Nevis friends.
We were happy and always interested in new adventures.
Yeah, we came, visit the place.
Who wouldn't love this place? This is
beautiful.
like paradise. So we say, yes, let's do it.
He is just an amazingly talented chef, and the attention to detail and everything. But the great thing about Ben is that he came in and we had already had Chef Fabrice, who is, part of the joint, also amazingly talented, French chef as well. So, and the two of them get along so well. They're so great at collaborating, and they've just brought that extra level to the food that's being presented, whether it's in terms of mixing different flavors, the presentation. It's just stepped up a notch.
In 2017, this dynamic group of friends found another fantastic environment up for grabs. A waterfront Cape Coral location just a few miles away at Tarpon Point Marina next to the Westin Hotel.
Gather is a accumulation of sort of all of our ideas. When, for a while we've been looking at the idea of expanding. To be honest, we stumbled upon, this location. And I think for us, Gather is, a combination of the French press and Fathoms, but at a slightly different notch.
The sleek, hip eatery features comfortable couches, modern accents, and a chic yet relaxing vibe. It's the perfect setting to enjoy an eclectic, creative menu that features unexpected twists on international and American favorites.
For here, the idea was to take sort of classic dishes and put a twist on them and make them a little bit different than what you would normally have.
It's a casual place where you can be eating a burger and your wife can be eating a very nice fish that for the special black grouper or something like that.
Guests also pour into Gather to try their elaborate craft cocktails. Their preparation, part of the whole experience.
Here, the bartenders and the flair and the mixology is the entertainment, and the view is, to die for, and it keeps us sort of, on track with the desire to be on marinas and, the view.
These owners hope their restaurants all offer a waterside escape that their customers love as much as they do.
Make us proud the fact that we believe at least that between us and all of our amazing team, we have created a place that we all love and that we enjoy being here and seeing it and coming and eating here and drinking.
If I think I had to have a single word, I would hope people would walk away and just say I had a fun experience. I had a good time, and I think that's what we would hope that our restaurants encompass, is the ability for people to walk away and say, I had a good evening. It was a really fun time and enjoyable.
Southwest Florida is known as one of the best boating destinations in the world. Coming up, we'll head out on the water to see why and find out how the whole family can dive into area adventures. Florida is home to beautiful beaches and countless deserted island paradises that are only accessible by boat. We also boast some of the most gorgeous waterfront homes in the entire world. So how can your family enjoy these adventures on the Gulf? Let's climb aboard for Pure Florida's Summer of Fun on the Water.
It's just unbelievably beautiful. The wildlife, the nature, it's one of the 7 wonders in the world, if you ask me.
Southwest Florida is one of the most popular boating destinations in the world. It's not hard to see why. That's why more than 150,000 people each year choose to climb aboard for a water adventure with Naples-based Pure Florida.
Our motto is a little bit of something for everyone. If you want the nice kind of luxurious, easygoing cruise. We have the Double Sunshine here in Naples. We also have the Edison Explorer up in Fort Myers, which ties in with Edison Ford Winter Estates and some history about Thomas Edison and Henry Ford, who explored the area. Taking it up that next level, if you're adventurous, we have fishing boats, deep sea fishing, backwater fishing. If you want to go catch fish, we know how to do that for you well. Jet skis for the adventurous thrill seeker wants to go out by themselves. You have boat rentals for the leisurely tour down to Keewatin Island. And then you got the Eco Tour, which is, it gets you to Keewatin, but it gets you with a captain if you're not comfortable taking yourself.
The Double Sunshine is the queen of the fleet, a Naples tradition for decades.
Double Sunshine, she's a Naples icon. Between the boat before her under the same name, the one now, it's been plying these waters for over 30 years. We service about 100,000 people annually, and it really is one of the must-do things of Southwest Florida. It's a well-balanced trip. You see dolphins, wildlife. We go into Port Royal, see all the beautiful homes, all kinds of neat stuff, and it's probably the best way to see a sunset in Southwest Florida this summer. Typically, we have sightseeing cruises at 10, 12, 2, and 4. It's an hour and a half. And then the sunset cruise, which varies based on the time of year, which is my personal favorite. We have fun. We try and keep it a little lighthearted, fill it with some facts, and really just keep it casual.
How about a trip to a tropical, nearly deserted island? Keewatin Island is a true Florida paradise.
Well, the most beautiful things in Southwest Florida is by the water. We got a bunch of different ways to get out there, get to Keewatin Island, go to the beach there. The only way to get there is by boat. Get up close and personal with the wildlife. We have jet ski rentals, boat rentals. We got an eco tour that takes you down there that spends about 45 minutes at the beach to do some shelling. And we have master naturalists on board, so they can tell you all about the wildlife. And on that trip, we actively go searching for dolphins. A great way to find dolphins in Southwest Florida.
And if you're looking for something wild, for the more adventurous, take a spin, literally, on Pure Florida's jet boat.
It's like a roller coaster on the water, except you got a captain driving the boat who's been thoroughly trained. It's a custom-built New Zealand-style jet boat. I'm from New Zealand originally. Goes out there around 35 miles an hour. We do spins and thrills and get soaked and wet. And again, the captain's a naturalist on those boats as well. So if we see things while we're out there, such as dolphins and bald eagles and ospreys and any other wildlife, they're going to tell you about it, as well as the northernmost 10,000 islands. It's one of the most beautiful ecosystems in the world, one of the largest mangrove forests in the world. So you'll get to learn a little bit about that as well.
Harry and his team hope a trip with Pure Florida is pure fun.
We keep everything lighthearted, we keep it fun and safe, and our goal is to get everyone out on the water. You can't beat a day out on the water, if you ask me. There's nothing better. And really, we try and leave with everyone the importance as well of what we have here and how special it is, and kind of expose everyone to why we need to preserve it and look after it, and hopefully they come out with something more than just, hey, we had a great time, but they learn something as well about what we have, why it's so special, and why we need to preserve it.
He's one of the most sought-after golf instructors in Florida and a PGA and Champions Tour player. Bobby Clampett joins us next with a simple tip that will change the way you play your game.
Nestled in the heart of Florida lies a place just off the beaten path, with a fresh twist on coastal casual, where the drinks are colder, the fish is fresher, and the food is tastier. Welcome to Deep Lagoon Seafood, now with happy hour from 11 to 6, with a mouth-watering small plates menu. Deep Lagoon Seafood and Fish Market, located in Naples at 41 and 104th Ave North. For more information and reservations, visit deeplagoon.com. Get away from the everyday at Deep Lagoon Seafood.
On this edition of Clampett's Corner, pro golfer and master PGA instructor Bobby Clampett is back as we head inside his golf studio and Impact Zone practice facility and look at the importance of club fitting and making the right contact with your driver.
Welcome to Clampett's Corner. This week's question comes from John, who says he's hitting his irons quite well, but really struggling with the driver. So it could be a number of things. First of all, proper club fitting is critical to the driver. But another thing that's very important about the driver is the importance of hitting a ball in the center of the club face. With the driver, you have the most amount of gear effect. Therefore, if you're hitting a ball off the toe, the ball is going to start considerably to the right with a little draw spin. If you're hitting it on the heel, it's going to start left with more fade spin. So the importance of hitting the ball in the center of the club face with the driver is critical. And there are a couple things that we can look at that may be causing John to hit it a little bit off center. One principally is balance and how the feet are working through the swing. So I'm going to demonstrate a swing here, and then we're going to go evaluate it together. If you look at this swing according to the quad, you can see that the strike of the ball was low and in the heel of the club. This caused the ball to start considerably to the left. You see a side angle there of 3.3 degrees to the left, which is not a very good start line for the ball. And a lot of it was due to the ball being struck in the heel of the club. So John, it's really important to hit the ball in the center of the club. And here I didn't do a very good job of it. So why? Well, let's use the Swing Catalyst and the video to actually determine what went wrong. So on the right-hand portion of this is the force plate tracking system, and it's actually lining up where my pressure points in my feet are throughout the swing. Here I am at address, and as I advance the swing and go into my backswing, I have a nice center of pressure here. These white balls right here show the center of pressure right in the center of my feet, and it's a nice straight line, so I'm really well balanced on my backswing. But then what happens here is the pressure starts to go to my toes, quite a bit to my toes, and as I start down, it even goes more to my toes than this point. This is very unusual for me in my swing, but this particular shot, my weight went into my toes before it came back into my heels, and therefore, because the weight was in my toes, the hit was made in the heel of the club, producing that pull shot that I didn't like. And I'm going to hit another shot here, and we're going to look at, am I making the right correction? Are we getting the improved footwork? And if so, we're going to find the center of the club face. Let's see. We can see that last strike was right in the middle of the club face. Look at that, 0-0. Love that. Over here on the left was the first swing, and I want you to look at these lines here and look at the space that exists between where I am at address versus where I am at impact. If you look at, you'll see how much more I am on the toes, my weight on the toes on the left screen here, how the weight is on the toes, and the vast amount of separation from this line to this line. That's because my weight got on my toes. That's what caused the ball to get struck in the heel. Now let's go over here on the right-hand screen, and we can advance it, and you'll look at what happens. It's a fairly similar pattern, but notice how I get more to the center of my feet at impact, and the lines nearly collide. So there's very little space there between the lines, and that's what enabled me to get a good, solid center of the club face. John, remember, center of the face strike with the driver is critical. Make sure your balance is good in your footwork, and you'll improve your consistency off the tee. Thanks for joining us on Clampett's Corner. We'll see you next time.
Southwest Florida has certainly established itself as a hotbed to some of the best culinary experiences that the state has to offer. In a new segment right here on Living the Florida Life, we'll visit some of the best restaurants and their chefs that are cooking up some of the dishes that are putting our area on the culinary map. On this episode, let's go in the kitchen at Deep Lagoon Seafood and cook up bourbon glazed salmon with the district chef, Nick Hartzer.
Welcome to this edition of Living the Florida Life. In the kitchen, we're excited on this episode to have with us Nick Hartzer, district chef with Deep Lagoon Seafood, one of the great restaurants here in South Florida that specializes in fresh seafood. Nick, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
We're excited to be here with you today.
Excited
so tell
as well.
us what we're going to be making today.
Today we're going to be making a bourbon glazed salmon that we are going to be roasting on this pre-seared cedar plank that we have in front of us. It gets served with sweet potato croquettes. They're a very nice side. It's also going to have some grilled summer squash. We've got a little bit of yellow and green squash right here to go with it.
Awesome. We're excited to let's get over to the grill and let's see how we're making this great dish.
So for our bourbon glazed salmon, we like to pre-char our planks of cedar wood. They are soaked so they do not catch on fire, so we try to be safe. We're going to add in some extra virgin olive oil. As you can see, the pan is already extremely hot. Perfect. It has to be hot so that our fish does not stick. Very, very important. We have a nice piece of organic Scottish salmon that has been marinated in our bourbon glaze. We're going to pull it away from the fire so it doesn't catch on fire. And as you can see, it sits right next to that piece of wood. Bring it back down to the pan. We're going to let it get a nice caramelization on the top. And then right after that, I'm going to flip it over, put it on the cedar, and we're going to pop it in this very hot oven. It's about 550 degrees. After that, I have to put the croquettes down, and we're also going to grill off our summer veg. Nice quick flip. As you can see, it's got nice color on it. Yeah. The color, the idea is to match the color to the actual wood. It's still really, really hot, so we're going to give it a nice little shot of olive oil before it goes in the oven. A little bit of white wine so it does not catch on fire. The big thing about cooking fish is you just got to make sure your timing is correct. Oven's nice and hot. Let's slide it in. And in about 7 to 8 minutes, we're going to have a nice, perfectly cooked all the way through bourbon glazed cedar plank salmon. We're going to drop in our croquettes. They are made out of sweet potatoes, a little bit of brown sugar, butter, salt, pepper, rolled in a little bit of flour. They make a nice little pop when you drop them in the fryer. These don't take very long. In about 30 seconds to 40 seconds, they'll be nice and crisp all the way through, and that'll be part of our side. So what we got here is a beautiful piece of bourbon glaze. So the glaze is now caramelized. Awesome. That cedar plank has started to burn just a little bit to add nice flavor to the actual dish. We'll start off with our starch, which we started earlier. These are the deep fried sweet potato croquettes. They're nice and tender, but they got a little bit of crispness on the outside. It's summertime. I love squash, so we've grilled up our squash.
Oh, fantastic.
Let's get it on the plate all in one shot here. There we go, nice and pretty. And this is our cedar salmon. Awesome. Put it right on top right here for everybody to see. We've made a nice little bourbon glaze, just extra on the side. Give it a little bit more sweetness.
Yum.
Right over the top. You can actually still hear it sizzling, it's so hot. And all of our dishes at Deep Lagoon come with a nice roasted lemon. Add sweetness to it. Once you put the lemon and on the grill, you grill it, you caramelize it, it stops being so bitter, and it turns into a nice sweet, almost like lemonade.
Let's talk about, you got the new Deep Lagoon coming here, second location in Fort Myers.
Absolutely.
End of June. Talk to us about that location.
We are currently in the process of building it. It's right at the Marine Max. It's a beautiful location. There's boats everywhere for everybody to see. Awesome. It's got a nice big patio, opens up into the Deep Lagoon area. It's going to have a lot of seats. It's got a very open kitchen. So everybody that comes there will be able to see the action. It's actually going to be focused mostly on an oyster house. So we'll have a large varietal of oysters from all over the north, south, east, west, wherever we can find them. And you'll be able to see the guys shucking them right when you come in the door.
Tim, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you having us here at Deep Lagoon. Look forward to trying this. If you want the recipe, we're going to put it up right after this segment. Until next time, we'll see you in the kitchen.
We hope you enjoyed Living the Florida Life. If you have an idea for our show, let us know at info@livingthefloridalife.com and check us out on Facebook. Also, share your pictures of you and your family living the Florida life with us. You never know, we might feature them in one of our upcoming shows. Join us next time for more adventures here in paradise.